Good day to all of you. Today we are going to look at applying Kant's categorical imperative to prostitution, one of the ethical dilemmas in the human society. This is an ethical examination through the lens of Kant's moral philosophy. Kant's philosophy does not just offer a simplistic yes or no to ethical dilemmas. For instance, prostitution that we are talking about, but rather it highlights a crucial tension between the systemic vulnerability and legal agencies. Kant's philosophy is grouped into three formulas that provides different angles that can help us understand this complex topic, that's prostitution. And the formulas are the formula of universal law, the formula of humanity, and the formula of autonomy. The formula of universal law, it acts only on maxims that could be universally applied, whereas the formula of humanity also treats individuals as ends in themselves and never merely as means. Whereas the formula of autonomy also says that rational beings should govern themselves according to the moral laws they themselves establish. So we are going to pick them one after the other and look more into them. So first and foremost, we will take the formula of universal law. The core principle here is it encourages to act according to maxims that could be universally applied. So here, it comes in when there is risk of eroding societal value of human intimacy. Now let's ask this. If sex is universally treated as a market commodity, this is where Kant's philosophy tells us to focus and also question the long term of cultural impact of full commercialization of prostitution. For instance, let us ask ourselves, imagine a society where a sexual intimacy is fully integrated into the gig economy. For instance, for example, the ride-sharing app. If relationships itself are entirely transactional, then the concept of non-commercial, intrinsic intimacy loses its societal meaning, and thereby destroying the very nature of human intimacy. And that is the argument that several people have raised. Secondly, let us also look into the formula of humanity. This one, like I said initially, treats people as ends, and that is the second formula. It focuses on treating individuals as ends in themselves rather than merely means to an end. And why does Kant come in? This comes in when there's high risk of treating vulnerable people as a mere means due to economic coercion. So Kant's philosophy directs us to focus towards eliminating exploitation and supporting the worker's dignity over criminal punishment. For instance, an individual who lacks access to healthcare or basic housing and enters sex work solely to survive because the financial desperation removes viable choices. Buyers and agencies are also exploiting their vulnerability, using them as a tool. But Kant says no. We should reject criminalization of sex workers and create social safety nets and also exit programs and legal protection that restores and protects the workers' human dignity. So as you can see on the screen, there's coercion, desperation, there's dehumanization, so there's criminalization. But Kant says there should be autonomy and consent. We should provide a supportive system and also we should empower them. And with that, we can improve or protect the workers' human dignity. And finally, we also look at the formula of autonomy, and that is the final and the third formula that emphasizes on the significance or the importance of autonomy, asserting that rational beings should govern themselves according to the moral laws they establish. And Keynes came in when sex workers' rights are denied and stripped of self-governance and to endure. For instance, the New Zealand discrimination, which tend to maximize safety, labor rights, and choice. The Prostitution Reform Act in the New Zealand, sex workers are discriminated, workers operate with employers' law, and can enter legal contracts, sue exploitation, employers, and access health or safety regulation just like any other profession. That is what Keynes says we should do. So from the screen we can see the discrimination in practice like New Zealand, where they have implemented the decriminalization model that prioritizes the rights and safety of workers. But Keynes' legal framework says it should enable the individuals to operate with the legal systems that safeguard their autonomy whilst promoting health and safety standards. And when you cultivate this flourishing, it endorses initiatives. Society recognizes the ability of individuals to make informed choices and cultivate an environment where they can flourish but not criminalized. And these are the three formulas of Keynes. And that is what it has been summarized here in this photo, where we have the formula of universal law, which acts on only maximums that can be applied universally. So that is what we have here. We have the images to portray them. We also come down here, you can see the formula of humanity, which also analyzes the situation, focuses on human dignity and autonomy. That's what about that is down here. And finally, we can also see the formula of autonomy, which is rational beings are self-governing and path and freedom and choices. Individuals have the right to self-determination, and that is what we have down here. Okay, so with what Keynes have said and what he has put out there, we now say to ourselves that we cannot just look at prostitution as an act against moral, but also should consider all these things and make the individuals to flourish, because it is life circumstances that has pushed them to do that. And today I thank you for your time and attention and whatever you have discussed and you have learned here. All these things that I put together, the references were taken from these places. We can see our book from the human resource or the learning resource as an open stance that we are reading, and the link is down here that we can take through to also read more on them. And so the global reference where I picked most of the stories of Keynes from. Thank you for your time once again, and thank you for your attention and your contribution towards this discussion.